Look what I've got. Okay, so this is Apple's Vision Pro. I imported it back in February 2024. We just had to check that. It feels like longer ago than that. But anyway, 2024, Apple introduced this. It's mixed reality, VR, AR, whatever you want to call it. And I've tried and tried to work it into my daily routine. The closest I've got with it is by attaching it to my Mac, so I can have my Mac in this great big huge window in front of me and I can work on the moon and all that sort of stuff. But it still doesn't stick, partly because it's heavy and I don't know, I just struggle. I struggle to find the use case for it. Now we have Samsung's effort, which is the Galaxy XR. I've been testing it and I have lots of thoughts. I also have the thoughts of someone else who we'll bring in later. By the way, it's still a heat wave in the UK, so we have the air conditioning on. If you can hear something in the background, I will stop apologising for that, and the heat wave will stop because it's the UK, but bit of housekeeping. Right, okay, let's talk about specs, and let's not get too... In fact, we don't need to get too detailed about this because they're quite straightforward. So it's powered by the Snapdragon XR2 Plus Gen 2 processor. It has a 4K micro OLED display, and you get 90 frames per second per eye, which is bonkers to someone who grew up in the 80s and 90s. In terms of the weight, it's 545 grams, which compared to Vision Pro is noticeable. There's one storage option, which is 256 gig, and it has eye, hand, and voice input. So obviously the latter is Gemini, but the former is using your eyes to choose things on the screen and your hands to pinch and interact with them, basically. The price, £1,699 in the UK. This is the US price down here, so it's still pretty expensive. Then we have the battery, which is this thing here. 2 hours of general use and about 2.5 hours of video playback, which is about par for the course, I think, for these devices. In terms of the hardware and what you get in the box, you get the Galaxy XR, which is this thing here. There's only one strap. It's just this kind of rear mounted thing here, which means you put it on your head like this, then twiddle that, and it basically clamps it against your head. Then we have this, which is the cover for the front glass, which you will want to use because this is a very expensive piece of kit, but that sits very nicely on there like that. The battery, if you're wondering, comes with its own cable, so it has USB-C on that side, and then this attaches to the headset like that. That goes into the battery. I do like the way that's designed, actually. It goes straight in there and it kind of clips in. You can't get it out until you press that button there and it comes out. This charges via USB-C as well, and it's got fast charging. It does charge fairly quickly, to be fair, but that is the Galaxy XR all hooked up and ready to go. The other thing you get is this, which is the thing that kind of goes onto your forehead, so that's what makes it hopefully comfortable. There is a spacer if you need one, just to make sure it works properly, but that can very easily attach there like that via magnets. There's also these, which attach to the bottom of the headset, and they block out the light completely. So it depends whether you want to block out the entire room and the entire world or have some light bleeding in. I don't know why you do that, but I just left them attached, basically. That's what you get. You don't get anything else apart from a cleaning cloth and all the usual gubbins in terms of, user manuals and that sort of thing. It's very much self-contained. In terms of the hardware, it's impressive. Like I say, it's a lot lighter than Vision Pro, particularly on the head, which is obviously the important thing. But it still feels well made. It's as you might guess, it's a step below Vision Pro in terms of the overall quality. Again, you have to remember the pricing differences between these two. They are significant, so you are getting, I think, better materials on Vision Pro. But in terms of something feeling like it's worth not that far off £2,000, we're talking 1,700 quid here. I think Samsung has done a good job here. I genuinely do. But in terms of comfort, because it's the biggest hurdle for manufacturers to get over when it comes to VR and AR headsets, apart from the fact that you look like this when you're wearing them as well, that's something else to get over. But forgetting that for a second, the comfort is really important, because the longer that you wear these, if they get considerably uncomfortable over that period, you're not going to carry on using them. That's been the problem with a lot of headsets. They just end up in drawers and unused or just sold on. Whereas if it fits, and this does fit very nicely actually, and if it doesn't get too uncomfortable, you're probably going to use it long term, particularly for things like gaming and working and all that kind of thing. In terms of the look and feel of Android XR, it's quite similar to Vision OS in terms of the layout of the icons and all that sort of stuff, but more importantly, Samsung has made sure that the overall look and feel of it is similar to the phone experience with Samsung. So if you're coming from the Fold, or if you're coming from a an S26 Ultra or any kind of Samsung phone, the interface for Android XR on the Galaxy XR is going to feel very familiar. And in terms of what you can do with it, you can do everything you'd expect. You can watch YouTube on it, you can have multiple windows open, so you can work on a browser, you can have Netflix open as well, and you can pin things to the environment that you're in. So if you've never experienced this kind of mixed reality thing, it's really impressive. You can open up, like I say, Chrome for instance, and move it around the room, use your hands to make it bigger and smaller, place the window somewhere, and it remembers those placements as well. So when you take the headset off and put it back on, in theory, I haven't tested this, but in theory it should keep everything where it was. You can link a PC to it as well. So if you've got a Windows laptop, you can basically do exactly what I described earlier with my Mac in terms of having it within the Android XR environment. I haven't tried that because I use the Mac. Apologies. But if you're a Windows person, that's obviously good news. I think we need to talk about what I like and what I don't like about this. I've been trying to get into smart home tech for a while now, but it always ends up feeling like the tech doesn't do a good enough job, or it's just too much hassle to live with. And often I completely forget I've even got it. Then along came the Nuki Smart Lock. It installs right into your existing deadbolt lock with no drilling or rewiring required. And trust me, if I can install it, you can install it. It was really simple. Once it's set up, you've got 8 different ways to enter your home. Your phone, your Apple Watch, your fingerprint, a 6-digit code, or my personal favorite, the auto unlock feature. It uses your phone's location to sense you walking up to the door, and it just opens automatically without you touching a thing. It works with Apple Home via Matter, so you can lock up with Siri or set up automations, and it's compatible with Google Home and Alexa. You can even send digital keys to family and friends, with, yes, time limits if you want them. So you're never stuck waiting around to let someone in. It's made from metal rather than cheap plastic, so it feels very well made. And it comes off really easily, and it doesn't leave any marks, so it's perfect for renters. If you want some smart home tech that does exactly what it's supposed to do, without being difficult to set up and giving you everything you need, and which makes your life easier, the Nuki Smart Lock is a brilliant bit of kit. The link is in the description. A bit of a confession. I've got a sneaking suspicion that I'm not the target audience for headsets like this, or if I am, I need educating on why that's the case. So rather than just give you what I like and dislike about this, the good news is I have a Toby. Miles away over there. Toby, you are, well, you're quite a bit younger than me, aren't you?
Yes.
Do you mind saying how old you are?
I'm 16.
Whether or not it's fair for me to assume that headsets like these are more tuned towards Toby's generation, I don't know. But you've been testing this as well, haven't you?
Yes, I have been.
So I think we should go through what we like about it and what we don't like about it. Shall I start?
Yeah, go for it.
I do like the lightness. It is comfortable. If I put it on my head now, it does feel immediately more comfortable than Vision Pro. That's always the problem I have with Vision Pro. The setup of it was, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on this, but the setup of it was very, very simple because I just used my Samsung phone. You kind of scan a QR code and just works. It takes all your settings and stuff, so it's very straightforward. I think it's well made. It's expensive. We're talking 1,700 quid in the UK, but it does feel pretty substantial, even though it's still pretty light. And I love the image quality. I think the quality of those 4K dual displays for both eyes are really, really impressive. I think Android XR is a good operating system. Like I say, it feels very similar to Vision OS, but more importantly, it does feel very at home if you're an Android, a Samsung person. The standout thing for me was something that you can only get on this headset at the moment, which is the immersive mode in Google Maps, which I know you've tried as well. The problem with these kind of reviews is that showing you footage from this, although you can see it, and we've been showing you that throughout this entire video, it doesn't really give you the proper experience because you need both eyes pointing into those two lenses, into those two screens there. So you don't get the full 3D immersive effect. But the best way to describe this Google Maps immersive mode is that it throws you literally into, it looks a bit like a paper mache. I mean this in the nicest possible way, but it's kind of like a
3D model.
Yeah, like a 3D model map, isn't it? And it throws you into it. You can use your hands to move around. It's incredible. And also Street View on this is very, very impressive, very immersive. And if you're going somewhere maybe you're not familiar with on holiday or something, I can see why you'd perhaps put this on your head and do a bit of
give it a test.
Yeah, do some proper research as though you're there. So those are the kind of things that I'm really impressed by. But over to you. What did you like about this?
Well, as you mentioned, the screens on it were really impressive. I did a black hole experience where it taught you all about the black hole, and you were there. You're in space, you got to see everything happening. The OLED 4K, it's something else.
Yeah, because you've used other headsets, haven't you? So what other headsets have you used?
I have used the Quest 2 and the Quest 3S
Okay.
at home.
Yeah.
I've done a demo on the Vision Pro. The operating system is very similar to Vision OS, as you were saying. It's immaculate, really simple to use.
So I guess a lot of people are looking at this, having had cheaper headsets like that. It's quite a significant upgrade in terms of the image quality, isn't it?
It's like the headset's not even there, especially the pass-through modes. You look out, it's...
Yeah, that's a really good point. The pass-through mode on this is very good. The pass-through mode on Vision Pro is good as well, but I think it's just as good on this, and it's not as expensive as Vision Pro. And I've even managed to get work done yesterday at my Mac with that, basically looking through the cameras on the Galaxy XR. So that was very impressive. Let's talk about what we don't like about it. If I quickly give you my thoughts on what I'm not keen on, it is still expensive. I think $16.99. It's not a try it out sort of price. It's not a whatever. Let's just spend this money.
Cheap product.
Not at all. And I think it sits in that bracket where, okay, it's cheaper than Vision Pro, but you've still got to have a really defined reason for spending that much money. With everything being so expensive, who knows whether or not the RAM crisis has had an impact on this. I'm sure it may have done, but regardless, it's still a lot of money. So I still think you need a very defined reason to buy one of these. It gets hot as well. Did you find this?
It does. It gets very hot, especially this top bit here.
Yeah.
I find that my forehead just got really, really hot and sweaty and a bit uncomfortable after a while.
Because it's got vents there at the top, and I think I noticed that the hot air is coming out of there.
Yeah.
But like you say, it's then kind of heating up this part here, and I
It's also blowing over your head a bit,
Yeah.
which then heats up the rest of your head, which then overall just gets you hot and
You have
bothered.
cushioning. I don't have cushioning.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
So that I didn't like that. That was just. I mean, it wasn't uncomfortable, but it's worth bearing that in mind. The other thing, and I'd be very interested on your thoughts on this. For me, when it's on my head, although it is comfortable and it's light, I found that it kind of started to hurt my nose after a while. With a lot of these headsets, it's very important how you get the fit, isn't it? How you get this part sitting and where it sits on your head, and it does guide you to get it sitting properly, which is handy. But I just found after 20-30 minutes, this part of my face was starting to ache a bit, and I wanted to take it off. Did you find that? Or was that
Yeah,
just me?
I did actually. It's all around like the nose and the cheekbones, and I did find that it got a little bit irritating.
I didn't experience that, but okay, that's interesting. Again, I think that these things, you just have to get used to them, and some people don't have these issues with them at all, do they? The other problem I had with it was just the controls, and this might just be because as you know, Toby, we're doing loads of things at the minute, lots of stuff happening, and I'm not just using this, so I'm kind of bouncing between this and testing other things. But I found the controls a little bit fiddly at times. I like the fact that you can switch between eye tracking, which works very well actually.
I did use the eye tracking a bit, and it's really impressive.
And if you've never seen what that is, if you haven't experienced that before, it's when you literally move your eyes, and as you move your eyes and look at something, that thing is highlighted. So you're using it like a mouse pointer. But like I say, I just found particularly the kind of hand movements and stuff, I kept hitting things, and
kind of when your hands are kind of like off to the side a bit, it can misinterpret things, and it's slightly irritating.
So in summary, in terms of what we like and what we don't like, the hardware, fantastic.
Yeah.
The image quality is fantastic. Android XR, this is one of the first examples of it. It's only going to get better. A few little niggles here and there, but it's a very impressive operating system. In terms of what we don't like about it, it's some of the fit, and in terms of getting it right on your head.
I think maybe if there was a strap on the top as well. Because this is literally just a clamp which then tightens on your face, and it gets uncomfortable after a while.
Yeah, I agree with that. And the controls can just be a bit fiddly, but that feels to me like a software thing. I think they'll improve that over time. I think it will get better. The big question is, who should buy this? This is the thing that I struggle with, which is why you're sitting here. Hopefully you've got the answer. It's all down to you. Have you got any idea who would buy the Galaxy XR? It's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really tricky. I don't know.
And also, this isn't a slight on Samsung or the Galaxy XR. I just think that, and I've had this with Vision Pro as well, it's just figuring out who would buy it. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
I think uber Samsung fans, they'll lap this up, I think, and they probably already have done, because it's been out in the US for quite a while now. We've only just got it in the UK. But for me, it's not for me personally. I wouldn't use this extensively at all. And given the price, it's very hard to justify that. I guess really what we're saying is this is where we turn it over to you guys. We'd love to know from you in the comments, is the Galaxy XR something you would buy? Or is it not something you'd buy? And what are the reasons for either of those decisions? Or equally, is there something else that you've got? Have you gone down the MetaQuest route? Have you gone down the Vision Pro route? Something else? There's lots of other stuff out there. Yeah, get involved down there. We will as well, as always, or I will as well. And I won't get Toby involved in that, don't worry. And yeah, let's try and figure it out. Okay, Toby, thank you for your first appearance on Marketer's Reviews. And guys, get involved down there. And remember, if you haven't hit subscribe yet, you know what to do.